Hi everybody. Well, I've been reading a story recently on that Ambassador cruise line. Now I'm on a live chat this Friday, tomorrow, around noon, I believe, with Emma on her channel from Emma Cruises, and Tony will be there with me as well. We got a lot to talk about, but she was just on a cruise recently. It was a short 3-day cruise with Ambassador Cruise Line, and they were on board having dinner, and the captain announced that, hey, the cruise was canceled. And a lot of people obviously freaked out. What? And then they found out the next cruise was canceled. In fact, the ship's not sailing again until January 5th, and it's now been sent into dry dock. And a lot of people are saying, hey, there should have been a workaround. There should have been a way for them to do. Now, what the issue was, is they found some cracks in some brackets guiding the ropes, the steel ropes of the lifeboats. And while it wasn't an immediate danger, it was something that was found on multiple locations, and it could get worse and worse and worse as things went along. So the company said they made the decision for safety and decided to, get that out of there and get that going and repair it. They'd rather lose some money instead of have something happen in the future. So I see a lot of comments that were going on the the person's Facebook channel and everything. So a lot of people were saying, yes, you know what, safety first and stuff like that. And then other people were saying, you know what, a lot of people save a lot of money just to get away. The Christmas cruise, the New Year's cruise were expensive cruises, compared to a normal cruise because it's the holiday season. Maybe they should have canceled it after that. And they were basically kind of saying, what's going on? Really, you should have been able to do something. You should have been able to bring technicians on, fix it on the ship, etc. And I want to address that. I don't know if I will agree with that, because we're talking lifeboats. We're talking your last line of defense if something happens on the ship and it starts going down in the middle of the ocean, right? We're not talking in port and there's something happened, you got to get off the ship and there's a dock right there. We're talking miles out to sea, no other ships in sight, and the ship starts going down for any multiple reason, or there's a fire on board and you have to evacuate. That's not the time to be worried about your lifeboats. And I can only imagine what people would say if something happened, even if nothing went wrong. Like, let's picture best case scenario when something goes wrong. A fire breaks out at the rear of the ship. They decide to evacuate passengers to the lifeboats while they battle the flames, just in case. And 2 of those lifeboats have trouble getting into the water. And then people found out, well, they discovered there were cracks in those casings, and they decided to sail anyway and endanger us. And look what happened. We could have died because they wanted money over fixing the issue. They knew the issue was there and they didn't want to fix it. And so they put our lives at risk. How many people would even try and sue, even if nothing happened, because they didn't fix that? Or how about just the bad press alone of something happening like that, even though no one got injured? Worst case scenario, people would have got injured, but best case scenario, no one got injured, but they had problems lowering the lifeboats, or one of the lifeboats didn't work. And people found out that they knew this issue was there and they sailed anyway. So I am 100%, I believe, as far as all the facts that we've seen so far. Some people were trying to say that, I think the company's in financial trouble because, they had to cancel these cruises. They can't afford the fuel to sail. Well, they afforded the fuel to get to the dry dock. And then they afforded the dry dock to come in and do repairs on all those casings. That's not cheap. That's not calling your refrigerator repairman for a couple $100s to get fixed. That's thousands upon thousands of dollars to do that in an emergency situation at Christmas time. Imagine they're going to have people working Christmas Day to fix this. How much do you think they're going to have to pay to have that done? So I do not believe it was a financial decision. I 100% believe they decided safety first. And I'll tell you, I really didn't have Ambassador Cruise Lines on my radar before this, because they sail in the UK, that area, and they're a smaller cruise line. But I have total respect for the decision they made. They decided to spend a lot of money and lose money at the same time to repair a safety issue. That, I think, is a sign of being a quality run cruise ship and a cruise line. So, I mean, they discovered it on December 18th, and they immediately decided to get this fixed. That's quick decision making, and that's, as far as I'm concerned, the right decision. Now, I'm curious, what do you guys think out there? What do you guys think? Do you think, no, they should have found a workaround? They could have brought engineers on board. They could have brought welders on board. They could have got mechanics on board and done all that, and maybe interfered with cruise ship passengers' Christmas sailings, because they would have had to be doing this work while the passengers were on board. I don't see how any other decision could have been made. I think, personally, I'm applauding. I'm applauding Ambassador Cruise Lines for doing what they did, spending the money to get it fixed, safety first, and losing money in the process. I know it's very frustrating if you were on that ship, but I mean, in all honesty, the logic is there. Well, let me know in the comments down below, because I was reading some really interesting comments saying some really nasty stuff about the cruise line's decision. And quite frankly, I could not disagree with those comments more.